All right, this week we had Mr. J.J. Atchison, one of the Bayinet's very own employees, one of the folks behind the camera, come on and talk to us about all of the controversy around TikTok. I don't know that we ever came to an agreement of how things should be or could be, but I honestly think it's a great conversation. You guys should tune in. I found out that Chris likes to watch a lot of TikToks, so check it out.
A professional source, right? Somebody
Yes.
Very professional.
That's
yeah.
right.
Right. So you want to introduce JJ for us?
Everybody, this is Mr. J.J. Atchison, a.k.a. one of the people behind the cameras.
One of them.
So J.J. works for the Bayinet, who so graciously allows us to do this podcast here and does a fantastic job, by the way.
Thank you.
I really appreciate what you guys do. So we brought JJ on because in our super lengthy planning session
last week sometime, right?
Yeah, a couple of months ago.
Meeting that we had.
Yeah, maybe 15 minutes ago, we were discussing our next topic. JJ threw out talking about TikTok and the whole congressional hearings about banning TikTok. And he's got some opinions on it. He's more in tune with what's going on than Chris and I are, although we're still a little bit in tune with what's going on.
I was going to say, Mark, are you starting to feel bad? Because you're showing your age now.
I've come to terms that at 35, I'm an old man.
I get it. Well, then that's not a good sign for me, is it?
Right.
But
when it comes to this stuff, I am. I don't have a TikTok account. I don't really watch TikToks.
I don't use it very much, but I
look at some TikToks.
I look at the reels that come through Facebook, because, Facebook's the old people platform.
Right.
So that's where I hang out with all the other old people.
The old people.
Yeah, but, and I do have some opinions on it. But tell us, what did you want to talk about today?
So, I don't even know where to start.
JJ,
I guess
right on
I
the
know
spot.
you did throw it right out there.
I guess so everyone knows TikTok is basically the app where you just scroll. You can scroll hours on end, see different videos and everything, ranging from cooking advice.
How many hours
shopping.
a day do you scroll?
So honestly,
wow, you are really relative.
but honestly, I'm not that bad.
Yeah.
On average, most days I don't even go on TikTok.
Yeah.
I say within a week, maybe, and this is me being high, maybe 4 hours a week at tops.
Yeah.
I'm actually really not that involved with TikTok. You can even ask my girlfriend. She sends me so many TikToks throughout the week.
Yeah.
I don't watch
How many hours do you think she uses?
Yeah.
Oh, no, she's different.
But you know what
She's on
the
it
old
every day.
man thing, they cross over. I don't know
Yeah.
whether I'm on watching TikToks or Reels or
You're just stuck in the twilight
I don't know
zone.
where it is. It's in the middle somewhere.
So basically, like you were saying earlier with the Reels on Instagram and Facebook, TikTok.
A lot of them are TikToks.
Yes,
Yeah,
people
that's what
take
I'm saying,
TikToks from the TikTok platform and put them on other platforms. So basically, that type of content is, transforming into Reels and YouTube Shorts and everything. So to say that every single problem that's with TikTok is not only with TikTok when you really look at it. But anyway, so everyone knows about this app, and obviously it's owned by a Chinese corporation.
Right.
It originated in China. So everyone, especially in the government, is concerned with the data breaching possibilities. Other countries have banned TikTok on government computers, stuff like that. So now
Canada.
Yeah. Canada's
that
one
earlier.
And Department of Defense employees,
and the White House.
United States government, so there's already inside this country, there's areas where you're not allowed to use it.
So
if you're in a certain profession, you should not be using it. If you get caught with the app on your phone, you could be in big trouble.
Right.
And I think the ironic thing is, I think that, a couple things. One, I think there are people that don't think that it's really a data breach or really hasn't. It's just political rhetoric, which is interesting because if you really backpedal into that, Donald Trump said to ban TikTok 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, this isn't new. This
is not a new thing, and everybody's like, that man's crazy.
Right.
That's BS. We're not going to do
now
that.
they're doing it.
And now all of a sudden we're banning it. So I think just that statement in and of itself tells me that it's more than political rhetoric. right?
Yeah, I mean,
because
think
now
of
you have
this-
two different parties
Yeah,
that have.
yeah.
I think of it as like that side of this is a real issue. I think number one because we mentioned that the the CEO magically appeared the other day in the hearings in D.C. right? Like that nobody had ever.
Yeah, I guess he had. I read something because I do read the news and I'm always bebopping through stuff.
Yeah.
Like I read something that said that this was his first ever real appearance publicly to the world. Like he was always a behind the scenes kind of guy, and he showed up to the hearings to basically testify on behalf of TikTok and why it should not be banned in the United States. Which I thought was interesting in and of itself, and I didn't even think about it until we had this conversation a few minutes ago. I'm like, was the guy even a real person?
Right, was he even there?
like, because he was behind the scenes.
Did they find him?
Was he a shell person, like a shell company, you know?
Right.
And they just found some guy to take that seat. Of course, that's.
Did he win it in a TikTok?
Yeah.
They picked
Be
him.
the CEO.
You are the CEO.
You are the CEO.
He twerked the best.
Right. That's so funny. But look, I mean, that's a conspiracy theory in and of itself, right? But I do think that there's something going on with this particular platform.
Yeah, I do too.
I do think, and I personally think that there's something going on with these videos specifically. So I may just be crazy. I think that's probably already been established at some point. But honestly, when I watch a reel or a TikTok video, it generates an emotional response.
Yeah.
So I notice that, something happens to me physiologically when I listen to those videos. Something about the audio. Have you ever noticed that the audio is like low, high, low, high, low, high? Or sometimes it comes through like really, really loud on a TikTok video
Sometimes.
in comparison to anything else.
The second part, yes, I've never experienced a low high.
Yeah,
stuff,
so
but-
there's audio
Oh, you
frequency.
think they're hypnotizing you, Mark?
Not necessarily. Tinfoil hats. Here we go. We're back to UFOs again.
Well,
but
the content though, that's the thing. When we talked about like in China, they say TikTok is a totally different animal. Like they're
different platform.
Different platform. It's more educational and geared towards the younger crowd, and the material is allegedly. I don't know this. I've just heard it on the news. But
well, again, I'm speculating. But could the way that these videos are created, using sound and visuals or certain, like what's the thing there's like all the different sounds that you can play over top of your video all the time, like the oh no one.
Like you're basically the music based.
Yeah.
You can choose
But
all
why?
that's in the library.
But why so many of the specific ones that are used? And does it generate a certain type of response psychologically?
Neuro-linguistic programming.
Yes, linguistics.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Neurolinguini.
NLP, yep. Neurolinguini.
But you know what I'm saying here? Like, I think that these videos could be designed in a way that you do get addicted to them.
Yeah.
First and foremost, that they could generate some sort of response in you that maybe makes you feel a certain type of way, right? Maybe it makes you feel anxious. I'll be flat out honest with you. When I watch a handful of like reels or TikToks, it literally makes me anxious.
So that's scaring me because like that means if number one, if that's the reaction you're having,
Right.
they're not dumb.
Right. That's what I'm getting at.
Right.
That's what I'm
they're
getting
not
at.
dumb. They know there's some sort of reaction that's taking place for you.
Right.
And do we think that they're tracking that reaction?
Well, I don't know. I don't think they can
No,
sense
I
my
mean,
anxiety.
no, but I mean,
through
what
the
if
phone.
what if
That'd
they're
be some
what if
freaky
they're
shit.
analyzing it and understanding your
Well, if they already have an
reactions?
understanding of certain sounds, certain things,
We're
the way that
definitely
you string-
we're definitely getting our
we're
little
way out of it.
hats.
but maybe they know that they can generate those types of reactions out of people. Maybe it does something to your brain.
So
Maybe
best-
it damages your brain.
Oh, gosh. Oh no, this is going downhill quick.
We're in a
Mark.
rabbit hole.
the best way that I can explain hearing like the same sounds over and over again is you really only hear the songs that are trending at the moment. And when you associate those songs, most likely people are going to pay attention to them because, most songs are associated with a meme,
Right.
trend that's going on. So
Right.
when people hear that song, they're like, oh, it's one of those videos where they're going to be doing something like this or show a picture like this. And so that's going to get them, that's going to get their attention. So like right now, yes, I am addicted to a certain type of meme if you watch TikTok, it's the Mike O'Hearn meme with the Night at the Roxbury song, but it's slowed down.
I don't
And it's
know
just
it.
stupid.
I have no
it's just
idea.
stupid. So I will say
But you
the
love
addicting.
those.
Yeah, the addicting
China knows
part,
you love.
China knows it.
So the addiction part I can understand, like from a trending meme point of view.
And guess what? The algorithm starts to show you all that
So
stuff.
yes, but the thing is, the algorithm, that's a basic thing that you find in every social media platform. That's not just TikTok.
In 20 years, we're at war with China, and everybody's just stuck in a TikTok war,
Yeah, right.
and you can't fight back because you can't get out. You're so addicted to the TikTok.
So got you
Do
already.
any of you guys have Instagram? Do you?
Yeah.
So Instagram uses the same algorithm basically when you go on your explore page. So the more things that you like or you're interested in, it's going to show you more of those topics on your explore page. It's very basic. YouTube does the same exact
And
thing.
it's what they, it's how we get our material out there,
It's
our
just
real estate stuff. It's the same
TikTok,
concept.
I would say personally, is the best at it. They have the best algorithm. If you want just plain old cooking on your TikTok, if you really work at it and you just
can have
like
all
only
cooking, yeah.
By
you all
by
cooking.
working at it, it means that you
You
watch
watch
a
'em?
shit ton of TikTok.
Well, there's also there's two
true.
different tabs. There's following and for you. For you is going to show you different variety of topics and videos that, different creators that you don't follow. But if you just want a particular couple of, creators, you can go on your following tab and just see those creators. So they give you those options to really customize your experience on there.
So let's go to
So-
the congressional hearings.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell us some of the stuff that you wanted us to talk about.
Yeah,
on
but
here.
Yeah.
that's why you got wrangled in here.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
unexpectedly. But so obviously when it comes to the data breaching and all those concerns that someone like a regular person like me wouldn't fully understand, I get that. I don't know what they're experiencing on that end, and if that
Right.
is a real concern, that's something we should look at. Sure. So I can't speak on that part, but I will speak on the social aspect and the fact that most of these Congress, people that are asking these questions, they seem out of touch. And it's
Really?
like, are these,
Shocker.
Yeah, they
Wait,
seem
Congress is out of touch?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
That's weird.
Yeah, you think all these people are just staying in touch? And,
What was the one you said? You said that somebody asked about one of the congressmen asked if you're on
If
your,
it connects to your
if
Wi-Fi.
it connects to your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so it brings up that conversation. It's like, are
Yes.
these the people? But it brings up that conversation. It's like, are these the people that should be making these type of decisions? It like.
Yeah,
I don't-
it's a
you
really,
know-
it's a real good
That's a
point.
valid question.
It really is.
Like-
whether they should be, and if they're provided enough information to
Yeah.
be educated on the
Because
topic.
some of the Congress people weren't even asking questions that related to the data
Right.
breaching. They were like, "Oh, there's a bunch of kids
So
out
you're
here that are
saying that
addicted
maybe
to
young
this."
people or people in general should pay a little more attention when they vote?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Or they should run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
But I mean,
run.
this is a thing that young people always do. They say, "Oh, our Congress people, our politicians suck. We need to start voting more." The election comes up, they don't vote.
They
They
don't
don't pay
vote,
attention.
yeah.
So
Don't
it's a
vote,
normal
don't
thing.
pay attention, or
Yeah.
just vote along party lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
But,
that's the thing we would need to get away from that.
Well, that's the worst part.
Mhm.
The worst part is that you get a slew of candidates in a primary. It spits out one, and
We've talked about this a dozen times.
it spits out one candidate for the election,
Mm-hmm.
and then because there's a D or an R next to your name, you vote for them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that person could be a complete idiot.
Yeah.
You don't even know.
But
Nobody
and
even
many
tries
times they
to.
are.
Many times they are. Good Lord, just look at the presidential run that we're
Yeah,
on.
I
let's-
think
So,
there was one guy that tried to make a connection. I believe he was the congressman from Georgia. Don't quote me on it though. But he was trying to make a connection with your eye pupils dilating, and them being able to keep that data in a data source. So he asked him. He was like, "So why does TikTok need to detect your eyes?" And I don't know where he got the diluting information from, because it does not need to know that your pupils are dilating. The only reason it needs to detect your eyes is for the filters, for when like glasses are on your face. Yeah, it needs to know where your eyes are at. It doesn't want to put a pair of glasses on your nose. And he said, yeah, once we get that information, it's deleted right away, because we don't need to know where your eyes are on your face.
right.
So it's just simple simple, easy questions to understand, and somebody's asking about the algorithm and why is it so addicting. It's on all of our stuff. This isn't something that China is trying to.
I mean, social media, that's the whole point.
Sounds like,
we'll call it like social media. That's what it is. It's supposed to be a social outlet for people to,
right.
I mean, if you fundamentally break it down, that's what it's supposed to do in the first place,
Yeah.
right? The problem is they're just scared to death that it's China, and it may be. I mean, like we said before, it may be just China stealing our information and want to know everything
and
about
knowing
you.
everything about you, or in this case, our youth.
Yeah.
You know?
And we heard them, with their concerns about the propaganda, about Chinese propaganda on TikTok. There's no Chinese propaganda on my timeline. I'll tell you that right now.
Right.
It's all stupid memes that I like. You don't get any of it.
I mean, if we take this to the next level, there's part of me that thinks maybe we give China a little too much credit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe we do. I'm not saying we do. I'm just saying maybe we do.
Maybe we don't.
Maybe
I don't know.
But I mean, I just think about it. I'm like,
I think about that all the time because
they allegedly steal our technology for some of this stuff, but we're counting on them analyzing our eyes and inflections.
Yeah,
I think
I don't know. Maybe
psychologically, the American people, the society in America, we are just a little too fixated on China at the moment.
Maybe.
You look at all the stuff that has happened. We're only in March, and we have the spy balloons. We have their relationship with Russia that we're concerned with. Now we have the TikTok.
It's not a new thing.
But now they're brokering a deal
but
in the Middle East.
It's starting to rise and get to a peak. So everything that happens, it's China.
Yeah.
It has to be with China.
Yeah.
And it's our information being taken from social media and being sold and dispersed is not new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only information that we can possibly think that TikTok has is our email address and our passwords. And if you get paid through TikTok, yes, they'll have a little bit of that information.
Yeah.
I can't say how much information you need to give for that, or if they have a third-party source. Because Facebook sells our information.
Absolutely.
To backpedal that for a second, though, it also knows all of your user data, what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah.
It has to know that, right?
Google does it. Facebook does it. All these sponsored ads that you get on your social medias,
same
that's
thing.
from the same algorithm. Yeah.
It's catering to you based on, that's actually even more Big Brother than TikTok, because my understanding is that TikTok is just using internal data of using their system to put certain things in front of you, right?
Yeah.
But when you talk about Google Ads are targeted to you by your cookies on every website that you visited on the internet, which is being collected inside of your phone, and then it's being shared back from your phone to the big boys to be able to put ads in front of you.
And you know what's even more wild to me? And it's been proven, the Alexas in our house monitor things that we say
all the time
to change the algorithm on our Google searches and Facebooks, but we're concerned about TikTok.
Right.
And I'll tell you why. It's because it's from China.
Right.
It's because we're in an uproar about China. That's the only reason people are fixated on this app.
I think there's some validity to that. But at the same time, I think that a certain level of paranoia is needed when you're dealing with a foreign country.
And I understand that.
Right. You have to be. We have to be.
Be cautious.
Be cautious. So I mean, there's probably perfectly within our rationale or rights to.
So you mentioned it's us in China, but didn't Canada ban TikTok?
Yeah, Canada, India, and Pakistan. I think.
But there's other countries.
There's several countries.
They're probably in the same situation as us. A lot of countries are probably worried about China.
Pakistan is probably censorship because they don't want their population to see certain things, right?
Maybe
because they're a highly
there's several in there, but I often wonder if we flip the script, right? Are there American let's take Facebook for instance, right? Is Facebook allowed in China? I don't even know if they allow it or not, but I don't know.
Oh, that's a good question.
Right? So are they having same kinds of arguments and discussions that we're having about this
over there,
like American companies that are over there?
Probably wouldn't know. I just want to revisit that. Where we were headed with that a minute ago about how we're at war with data and all these things. On the other side, you think about us looking at our politicians and saying, look at all these dumbass questions that they're asking now, right? Imagine how the military feels.
Oh, right.
So if they know Like,
Right.
if like
That's actually a good
Homeland
point.
Security,
Great point.
the military, and CIA, and all these guys know that this is legitimately a freaking problem, and they have to take it up
Yeah.
the food chain, and then it has to be through Congress to ban it. They're sitting here like, man, you dumb SOBs.
Yeah, right. We're
We
losing
done
them.
told you everything,
We told
and
you.
every day we're losing intelligence. We're losing on that battlefield.
Yeah.
Of that realm.
Because
you know?
even then,
That's a really
So just
good
from a
point,
different
actually.
perspective, it's like us trying to get a permit through.
You know
what
it's
I mean?
really a good idea, but we know
It's
what
like,
it's going to do. But
why won't you just do this? Black and white, it makes sense. But then, you've got Sally Joe, Congresswoman, saying, but what about your eyes?
yeah,
because like even
it's tracking your eyes.
Yeah.
Because even then, like if you are asking questions related and you want to get to the point of the data breaching, you should go in with a basic knowledge of how the internet works and how apps work. If you don't have that knowledge, how in the world are you supposed to pick this guy's
So
brain
what you're saying is,
to get to data?
we need to create an aptitude test for Congress.
That's a novel idea.
Because
You
people that
have
work-
to pass a test
to become a
that shows
congressperson.
that you have basic knowledge in certain areas.
Isn't it?
But that would probably be seen as like non-inclusive in some fashion.
Well, I mean, I think if you're on a committee that has to do with this kind of thing,
you should have a certain knowledge.
You should have a
Yeah.
certain knowledge
Yeah.
about that stuff. And if you don't, then maybe we need to find more people that are. I mean, I don't know what the answer is.
or you need to
You
be
know.
briefed to some extent.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Because people don't people that work on cars have to take a test every few years to make sure they're up to date on the
they
new
have to be
additions to vehicles.
certified.
You have to be
You
certified
know,
to work on
any business,
the
we
newer
have to do it in
versions.
our business.
Yeah,
So
we
why
have to
aren't
take
we-
continuing education. Continuing
Education
education
for
for Congress. Yes, here we go. We're fighting back.
The world and society is changing all the time, and if you're not up with the times to where you don't even understand how Wi-Fi works, I don't think you should be
I will
on
say
the committee
this,
to ban a whole app that
I
half
will
the country
go on
loves.
that with you. If you don't have a cell phone in Congress, because okay, so first of all, if you don't have a cell phone, yeah,
Or if it's a flip phone.
Most of them don't even write their
so
own
they got the new
email.
flip
Or-
phones now. So
If you have to pull the antenna out of your cell phone, then you should not be in Congress.
But I bet most of them don't even write their own emails, and if they can't even understand email,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and then I get
Man,
like
you know how many politicians we pissed off
yeah, I know.
in one episode?
I'm sure you
Well,
did today, Mark.
they just need a.
You have been pretty neutral over there. You're
I
pretty
am
good at
trying
that.
to try to listen very carefully.
But then I a lot of the other concerns that they had was the societal aspect of younger people, being addicted, having, just basically spending too much time on the
Yeah.
app, and
You
their
have
whole
been on
lives
with us
revolving
for
around-
26 minutes. Do you feel the need to TikTok right now?
No, no, not that much.
Not that much.
You know what we need?
Maybe just
we
a
need
little
one of
bit.
the sound effects to play right now.
Right.
And see JJ's expression. Like, oh no.
That's so funny.
But because a lot of people will probably bring up the point that in China that they limit the age
Yeah.
in China, and I mean if they do that in their country, great.
yeah.
But that's up to our politicians to come up with that. Like
Well,
that's just a societal
I think
failure.
they're trying to limit
on our
all the
part.
ages at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody.
And
But I mean-
and again,
I think it's going to actually.
it could potentially be for good reason.
Yeah.
To be honest, we have enough mental health issues in this
Yeah.
country, and if it actually is found that here is something else that one could be stealing data from us, and two could be damaging the mental health, especially of our youth. I mean, social media, if not used in a proper fashion in any form, social media, especially when I literally heard this on a podcast this morning by someone much smarter than me, and it was talking about happiness. And there's a study on happiness that's actually been over the last, it's like 100 years. 100
wow.
years. It's the longest study in all of history,
Okay.
basically, where they've actually followed people through different generations and spouses
Interesting.
and everything to figure out the key to happiness. This is on Ed Milet, by the way. I'll give a plug for Ed Milet on here. I listen to
Okay.
Ed stuff every week. But anyways, so on this podcast, the gentleman was saying that if you use social media and you consume but you don't engage, so you don't use it to actually post
Yeah.
and deal with other people. If you just consume it, then you are less happy. Proven. You are less happy. Another interesting fact, and this has nothing to do with anything, I just feel like it's worth sharing, but they stated that alcohol actually was a prerequisite to depression in most cases.
Interesting.
A lot of people say, I
Yep.
started drinking, then I got depressed. Or better yet, I was depressed, so I started drinking.
Right, so their connection
But
between
actually,
the two.
in most cases, alcohol was the predecessor.
interesting.
Which I thought was an interesting fact as well. But back to the topic at hand. So if there is something where, like TikTok, you're just consuming for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, you might be posting stuff to share it with friends, but otherwise
Most
you're just
people just
consuming.
consume,
And they say like the biggest issue with consumption, especially on Facebook, is if you're just looking at other people's lives,
You're right.
in a lot of cases you feel like yours isn't good enough
Right.
because you're only seeing the
Right.
image that they're putting forth. You're
Right.
not seeing everything else.
Right.
You're not seeing all the chaos. But I don't know. I think that it's something that needs to get looked at. I think that I don't think that we lose anything by banning
No,
it.
I think here's what's going to happen. I mean, if there's a ban, which it looks to me they're going to ban at some point, right? I think the reels and the reels are going to take over. They're basically the same thing in shorts
Yes.
from YouTube.
Facebook
You know?
paid. They lobbied 2 years ago when Trump was originally trying to do it. Facebook was trying to. They paid like I
To
think
push
$20
out
million
TikTok.
for a whole campaign against TikTok because he wanted to take over.
Well,
so they already know that.
That could have been a whole nother angle.
Right, we
you
could have
know?
gone in a whole nother.
That's a whole nother conversation to be had.
Right, because it could be.
It could all just be bullshit.
Right,
And it could be
we're being
American,
manipulated.
American capitalism, you know,
but I mean,
playing out
there's,
at its greatest.
honestly, there's a, we're talking about billions of dollars here with,
Yeah,
you know,
that somebody else is going to capitalize
and
on.
somebody's going to
Well, and
capitalize
I
on
think
it. And,
So if the reasoning to ban TikTok is because of data breach, sure. But if there is any proof, which I think there's already proof for some social media on the psychological side, I think that at some point somebody's got to look at that. Because again,
Yeah.
we're already a country that's plagued with mental health issues, you know. And I don't know that things like TikTok and Reels and all this stuff
or
helps
even
with it.
helping it.
Yeah.
By the way, do you guys want to know what the number one indicator of happiness is?
Let's hear it.
Personal relationships.
I believe
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
It
It's
does.
the number of personal relationships you
Yeah.
have and how deep and engaged they are.
That's
So
cool.
literally they were able to they had everybody in the study write down on a piece of paper how many people or who the people were that they could call at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Nice.
And that person would help them out. You know, there was a lot of people that didn't have anybody.
Yeah, I believe
Even
that.
people who were married
Yeah, didn't have anyone.
didn't have anybody that they could write
Oh.
down on the list.
Yeah.
That was the key difference. Those that had more people on that piece of
That's
paper
interesting.
tended to be happier people. And I venture to say, if you spend your entire life scrolling through TikTok, you're probably not going to have many friends
Right,
that,
because
can,
you're
that you
spending
can
too much
call
time
at 2 o'clock in
scrolling.
the morning. And if you do, they're going to be somebody on TikTok that doesn't even know where you live. So
Right.
good luck.
So I guess my 2 cents on the happiness and banning it for the society.
You're going to be
portion of
less
it.
happy?
No, I mean it's there's that side of being depressed because all you do is consume and you see how great other people's
Yeah.
lives are and stuff, and I get that. That's actually a huge problem, not with just TikTok,
Yeah.
but with every social media platform.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, I feel like it's just a failure on us as a society because we allow that to take over. We allow that to happen. But again, like every young person has a phone, so obviously we're all going to be on that stuff. So social media is still brand new when you really look at it. It's only
Yeah.
been here since
So you're
2010.
saying we got to give it
really?
a chance to
Work itself
write
out.
to write itself.
We got to learn as a society how to merge our real life with our digital life.
Yeah.
We have not mastered that yet.
I believe that.
It will happen.
There is some
It
truth
will
to
happen
that.
at some point because our digital lives are still new. None of us are even 20 years old yet in our digital life.
Yeah.
We're still teenagers if you've been on it for that long. But then if we
If you
take
follow any of the AI stuff, our digital life's just going to kill us anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We're all going to be taken over by
That's
AI.
what we should have talked about today.
Is AI?
We should have talked about the
ChatGPT,
bots, the bots that have turned with what somebody's bots turned into a Nazi, they had to shut it down.
What?
Yeah,
Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, the bot turned
It's the
into a
most
Nazi.
ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
So somebody got on there and just kept conversating with it.
And it educated
And
itself
it educated
that way.
it, and then the bot started responding to other people as if it was a Nazi.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it happened.
That was a real thing. It was in the news.
I'm gonna
And
look
then
that up when
another
I leave
one,
here.
there was a reporter, I forget who it was for, but she had a 2.5 hour long conversation with a bot, and by the end of it, the bot was talking about how it wanted to be human.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
This is like.
All I want to do is be real. I just want to be human.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they
it's
shut
just-
it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that some freaky stuff?
Yeah.
That's what we need to talk about on our
Yeah.
next episode.
Yeah.
That's that Will Smith
Yeah.
movie,
But
right?
I will say
I
that,
Robot. That's all
iRobot's
everything you
coming
gotta think
back,
about.
yeah.
Yeah.
I will say to end for me with some pros about TikTok. It has helped so many smaller creators get their names out there like
Yeah,
crazy.
that's true.
You know, like if you start any business or any social media platform, your first rule is to start a TikTok. Start
Yeah.
making
You're
TikTok,
right.
start
You're
making
absolutely
reels.
right.
It has helped so many small businesses grow exponentially. And it's also just another way
It's
for younger people like me who want to get into the creative industry to get started.
Yeah.
Start making videos on your phone. You don't even need any of these special cameras.
Right.
You just get started and it grows from there. So it's another outlet for creativity. There's so many positive things that come off of TikTok. You can make money off of it. You can build fame off of it. If we just focus on the negatives, you know, it's taking away a lot from the positives. And
I
the
get
negatives
that.
really just come down to us as people. We
Yeah,
can't
no, I
blame
get it.
TikTok for our own addictions. Because if we get rid of TikTok, might as well get rid of alcohol.
You're right.
get rid of
Heroin is not the
cigarettes.
problem.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, like, I mean, they're,
No, those are addictive,
If
and
they're
that's-
playing, if they're playing on those things and they're
Yeah.
manipulating you because of it, now that's a
Yeah.
problem, right?
Yeah.
And that's where we need to draw the line, I think, right?
Yeah.
Like, if they're using
It is
that
a really
against, you know-
delicate topic because
It really
is.
I agree with everything that you
Me
just
too.
said.
I'm 50. Don't get me wrong. I see your like sides as well. Like it is very
Whoa, I'm
addictive.
not on
I have
any
a
specific
side.
No, I know.
Yeah, side.
I'm just saying. I see the
I
other
love
side.
TikTok.
I see the
I don't
other
know
side
about
as well.
all that. I'm about 75-25.
I
I'm
was just
about,
trying to
about 90-10.
I'm overcompensating over here, Mark.
But I see the other side as well. It's totally understandable. It is addicting. My girlfriend's addicted to it. She probably won't be happy that I say it, but it's true.
She's never going to
She's
hear it
addicted.
because this won't be on TikTok.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, she's
But,
only on TikTok anyway.
There's
I-
our TikTok for this
But that
video.
could be our first TikTok. Get real with Chris and Mark. The first one is JJ saying his girlfriend's always on TikTok.
Yeah. But I mean, like, let's say, like, it hasn't affected her in any way that I've seen negatively. It's the same thing as being addicted to reading a book all day.
Yeah.
Oh, you only spend your time reading a book. Oh, I only spend time watching TikTok.
I know
There's no
we're
difference.
I know we're in the
really.
long stretch here, but I got to tell you, like, there's something like I know you have a similar situation to me. I like in the morning I read the news, man. I'm on the news right away. I'm reading my news or trying to do that. It's just like people that are addicted to their emails, right? Like you get stuck on those emails and you're reading 400 emails a day. So there is something to be said for all of that, right? Like especially the news thing to me is a similarity because I can literally get stuck on the news and all different formats and you get on Apple News and they got like 10 different newscasts on there and you're reading all different stories.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. Hopefully,
Well-
I educated y'all.
Yeah.
Shared your opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Does this bring a new perspective?
I don't like. I'm not. All the technology stuff. I'm like. I just think about my kids. You know. I'm like. I want to go out and throw a ball. I want you to make friends down the
Right.
street. I want you guys to go build a fort.
right.
You
Go in the
know,
woods and build a fort.
I want you to go do things that are physical and fun and involve other people actively.
that's
And
that's
that's the thing.
social.
That's
Yeah.
social.
Yeah.
That's the true
That's true social.
This is not social.
Right.
But being able to engage, even via Zoom, I think there's still some social aspects there
Yeah, definitely.
that you can get out of having a relationship.
Yeah, I mean,
with
I said that
somebody.
all along. Like you can't read people's emotions. You can't without personal interaction with them. You can't
Yep.
see their facial expressions
A
as
lot
clearly.
gets
You
lost.
Can't. A lot gets lost. And if you're on your phone trying to gather that type of thing, it's just not going to work.
And then at what point, I don't know, like at what point does everybody judge their friends based on their TikToks?
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe now.
like, oh, Chris doesn't make good TikToks.
Yeah,
so.
well,
I have
I'm
no
sure
idea.
I don't.
I have no idea if you even made any TikToks.
I have a
but
couple out there.
Imagine if I was just like, yeah, I ain't talking to that guy. He sucks at making TikToks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, you're
But,
right.
I mean, that could be a dynamic
be a
between
thing,
kids
yeah.
at some point. But
Anyway.
I
It's
just
all about balancing our lives.
It is
our
about
digital
balance.
and our real life. It's about balance.
Well, get out there, balance your life,
build a fort.
build a fort, and make your own judgment about TikTok.
Yeah, maybe after the fort is built, then you can watch some TikToks.
Right, go out there and do that. All right, see you guys next week.
See ya.